The family of Colonel Gaddafi is preparing to sue NATO for the airstrike on his convoy that led to his violent death at the hands of NTC fighters. The family lawyer said that the alliance's actions were clearly aimed at overthrowing the colonel and not protecting civilians. Meanwhile, even with Gaddafi gone, the country's future looks far from secure. From Tripoli, Anissa Naouai sends this report.
The war is over, but the weapons are fully loaded. Human Rights Watch has expressed grave concern about leftover arms in Libya. Their number one fear, warehouses, thought to hold ground-to-air missiles, which could, in the wrong hands, take down passenger aircraft.
It's through NATO and NATO allies in the region which these weapons have been flooding Libya. And also Libya is quite a well-armed country anyway. The population has quite a lot of light weapons in its possession.
And those light weapons are becoming a heavy burden on the National Transitional Council, now relying on an army of former rebels for security.
We try to control the weapons, and we check if there's somebody has a weapon. We ask him if he has the authorization for this weapon or not.
Checkpoints have been set up across Tripoli to check that those carrying weapons have proper documentation, and those who do have the paperwork are being called on by the National Transition Committee to return their arms. The question now, what if they don't? And what does that mean for post-Gaddafi Libya and its stability?
And now, as you can see, it's being secured here. Everything is under control, and the only thing that we will make some mechanism how to give back the weapons.
But we see something very different. I asked this head commander what the plan is to disarm the population.
I swear I don't know.
At a makeshift arms collection center that covers one neighborhood in the capital, we are shown this.
These are the weapons people brought to me today.
Not many. Walk down one block in Tripoli and you'll see twice as many firearms. Do you know how many weapons there are in Libya?
I think there's a lot of the weapons in Libya. I think everybody has a weapon.
Some think the flood of arms in the country could spell disaster ahead in the vacuum after Gaddafi and post-revolt chaos as groups fight out vicious battles for power.
What you have now in Libya is scores of armed factions who have no respect for each other and who have no respect for NATO actually either. They've opportunistically used NATO to achieve some aims, and NATO has been foolish enough to go along with this. So I think what we're going to see now is an intensification of the civil war between increasingly the factions which have overthrown the Gaddafi regime.
With many Libyans not yet ready to say a farewell to arms, the NTC, which could only beat Gaddafi with NATO help, is now asking the alliance to continue its mission, a vivid indication of just how unstable the country is. Anissa Naouai, RT, Tripoli.
The UN Security Council is to vote later on Thursday on whether NATO operations in Libya will end this month. But Pepe Escobar, a columnist and correspondent for the Asia Times, thinks the outlook for the country is bleak and sees comparisons between what happened in Sirte with events in Iraq 7 years ago.
Fallujah at the end of 2004 is Sirte in October 2011. What the Marines did, which was to destroy Fallujah in order to save it, the TNC and NATO did to Sirte. What Gaddafi didn't do when people were saying, no, he's going to occasion a massacre in Benghazi, NATO and the TNC did with Sirte. Civil war in Libya, it's already on. They will never set up a government because they're militias fighting against militias. So what I predict is plunder of Libyan resources, NATO running Libya as a kind of protectorate, a puppet governor Hamid Karzai style in Tripoli, and civil war all over the place.